Hello everyone and welcome back to Cop Ultras podcast show. I'm your host Puvan and I am here to give you guys my take on what had happened between Liverpool against Brighton at the AMEX Stadium. So we played Brighton away. We drew the game 2-2 and it's very frustrating scoreline. It was a very frustrating draw. We could have won the game. I will come back to all of this in 1 second. It was a very frustrating day because I expected us to get the 3 points. It's not because I don't see Brighton giving us a good challenge or what not, but I did expect a good challenge from Brighton as well. But then looking at their current form, they did not perform well against Aston Villa. They conceded 6 goals, and then on the European end for Brighton as well in the UEFA Conference League and whatnot. It's their first time participating in European games so far as they are concerned. They haven't had a good run as well. So I was expecting Liverpool to actually go against Brighton, not to exactly put on a show, but then actually show that you do have title aspirations and you want to compete for the title this season, not just the Premier League but every other trophy as well. It should be a statement of intent, but then it was super frustrating to see all the sloppy balls that we were missing. I mean, especially the midfield battle, which I will come back to that. I mean, just a rough take on it, like the midfield battle was horrible. Defensively we weren't even sound. We were clearing a lot of balls in the defensive areas with a lot of nervy moments. There were too many nervy moments, and there were also, even the first goal, even the goal that we conceded against Brighton, their first goal, it was such a sloppy play, especially from a player who has good passing, who has a good eye for passing, a player like Virgil van Dijk, for example. I do not want to put the blame on McAllister for it, because you do know that you have multiple passing options in front of you. So why do you opt to pass to a player who has already been man-marked, especially McAllister in that particular situation? So it was very frustrating to see. And then even in the first half, in the beginning of the first 2-3 minutes, you could see Brighton having a grip hold of us in the first half as well. In the first few minutes, they had a few corners, they had a few deep corners that we were really struggling to get away with. There were certain moments as well where we weren't able to clear off the ball, and Brighton players were, especially like João Pedro and Sully March, Lewis Dunk, Adingra, their new winger as well. They had a lot of opportunities to score, especially in the corners, but we were so nervy. It was so frustrating to watch at that, those kind of pattern of play. And then when I've been saying this in the few episodes previously, even when I first started my episode in this particular podcast, where we have been conceding goals unnecessarily in the first half, and we would be the first one to concede. And it was no different to this game against Brighton as well, and it was very frustrating to watch, especially that goal. Like I was saying earlier, McAllister getting the ball from Van Dijk, the unnecessary stupid passing. It was so stupid that Robbo was free on the left hand side in his position. You could have passed it to him. Why do you opt to pass to a player who has already been man marked? It was super unnecessary. It was really dumb. It was really stupid, to be honest. It was unnecessary pass. You pass it to him. Two players are coming towards McAllister. They have pressured him. They've gotten the ball away, and Alisson is way off his line. He's standing way off his line, and he couldn't even pounce on that shot which Adingra made. And that was like really frustrating to see, guys. Really frustrating. My hand was on my head almost the whole game, the whole 90 minutes, regardless, towards the point where we had the lead thanks to Mo Salah who equalized. I mean, that particular equalizing goal that we scored, that was good. That was really good. You saw, Szoboszlai was involved, Mo Salah was involved, Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz. They pushed up forwards. They started to give more. They started to ask more questions to the Brighton defense, and that goal was a testament to it. That was a really good goal. And then, coming to that, and then we managed to equalize, and then we managed to score out of the penalty that we received, which was the foul on Soboslai, which I'll come back to that as well. And then there was so many nervy moments in the second half as well, where Brighton was starting to get a grip hold of the game again. We were misplacing passes. We weren't able to tackle them. There were no proper interceptions being made. And then yes, in the second half we also saw the arrival of Gravenberch as well, being subbed on for Harvey Elliott. And then we never really saw the team really going forwards. Rather than, you would see Gravenberch as well, being more involved. Yes, he hit the crossbar. He should have scored. That was a really good play as well. But then as the game went on, you never really saw, Liverpool trying to put a foothold and really dominate the game. You couldn't really see them dominate the game. I understand Brighton are a well-coached team by De Zerbi, but then, when you have title aspirations like a team like Liverpool, and you have really good squad depth, and and us failing to not utilize it, regardless of the fact that Curtis Jones has a red card, and also Jota has gotten a red card, but the team composition wasn't right from the first whistle. I saw a lot of it. I will start with actually talking about that slow start. We've been having this slow start for this one too many times, guys. For this whole 8 games that we have played, we haven't reached 10 games being played, and all of the 8 games that we have played, we have had immensely slow starts to the game. Every game, not just the Brighton game, every other game that we've played against teams in the Premier League, even in the Europa League as well, we've done that. We start slow, and then gradually we would pick up the pace, and then you could see more of the intensity and all that. But then in the first half you couldn't really see that. And there's an interesting stat here as well, that Liverpool have taken 10 Premier League points from losing positions already this season. It's kind of like proof, 10 Premier League points from losing positions is a good stat. I'm not going to deny that. But then how many the mentality monsters are there, but it's just taking such a long time for it to kick in. Why do you need a team to score against you first? Why do you need to concede first? It's super unnecessary. Easy passing, you can play through easy passing lanes. There are so many players, you have 11 players over there, and when you're playing out from the back, it's not necessarily all the balls need to come from the goalkeeper. All the balls have to come from the centre backs. You have to play with your midfield. You have to play with your defenders. I couldn't understand the team composition whereby whenever we got the ball back from the defense, when Brighton are attacking us, and then we get the ball away, and then let's say, for example, Alisson has the ball, or Van Dijk, or Joel Matip, for instance, has the ball, I don't see anyone asking for the ball. All I could see is Robertson just blasting forward, just overlapping run all the way there, and not being able to sufficiently get the ball out of our area of the pitch to Brighton's area of the pitch. That was so. I rarely saw that. I was watching the whole game, and I was looking at what Robertson was doing. I was looking at what Harvey Elliott was doing. I was looking at what Trent was doing, with this whole box midfield, Trent being the inverted right back and whatnot. It totally did not work. To be really honest, it did not work in this game. And for a team being well coached, for example, like Brighton, we could have done better. We can do better. It's just that Klopp is so stubborn for the fact that he doesn't even want to put specific players in their position, which I'll come back to later as well. So this slow start is just hurting us to a point where we are now dropped 2 points. I mean, we've dropped 4 points? Not 4 points. We've dropped 4 points in 2 games where we lost against against Spurs. Yes, regardless of the fact that we had 2 red cards, and then we considered right at the death. But even in that game as well, we couldn't get a foothold. The team composition wasn't really right. And then coming off the back of that, we played against the Union SG, and then we played okay. We scored 2 goals, and even that as well. right towards the end of the last whistle, you could see us attacking, giving 100%, 1000%, which is so super unnecessary at that point in time, which you could have done the whole first 45 minutes and on the beginning of the second half. That's the whole mentality which I am struggling to understand. That is the whole point that I'm struggling to understand. Why are we taking so long to start games? Why are we not going into second gear, not kicking into third gear in the first half itself? It should be done that way. The team is so good that we are struggling to do this. That's the whole point. And another thing I would like to talk about as well is that another VAR, not to say another VAR incident, is just that the referee that we had was for this game was Anthony Taylor, and we had the penalty. We had the penalty given to us. Mo Salah converted the penalty. It was very, very good. We were in the lead, but then the whole lead up to that penalty, there was something very questionable as well. As you guys would have known that Szoboszlai was fouled, then concurrently then Luis Diaz was also fouled as well in the penalty area. So when Szoboszlai was fouled, his shirt was tucked at the back from the neck, and he was on his way to get the ball and to shoot the ball as well, but he wasn't able to because he if I was not mistaken, it was Pascal Gross who tucked his shirt from the back. For you to do that could warrant you either a red card or, okay, if you don't want to give a player a red card, the worst you could have done is given him a yellow card. None of it happened. VAR checked. They said there is foul play in the penalty area, and they awarded us a penalty. But then, with the lead up to the penalty, there was no yellow card. So it was super, super questionable, guys. Really, really questionable, because we had the whole incident happen to us against Spurs, and now this one. I understand that we don't want to ask any more questions because it's just going to get us into trouble with all the VAR incident that had happened against the Spurs game. But then in this game, another questionable call as well. This one, Pascal Gross was not given a yellow card or a red card. And then after this game, I was watching the the Arsenal Manchester City game. I saw Kovacic give two identical tackles. He had done the same thing but in different areas of the pitch, yet he only got one yellow card for it, and he did not get a second yellow or a straight red for the other tackle which was identical. So 1 + 1, you guys give me the, you guys solve the maths. It's so questionable to a point that you would start to think why, you're checking for a penalty, you're checking for a foul. Even if it was pre-VAR, years ago, before VAR was even developed into a system, when someone does that, when they tuck your shirt from the back in the penalty area, it's a penalty, yes, but then you should give a caution to the player. Why is the player not cautioned? Why are you giving him another opportunity to do what he can for the rest of the game? That is where the whole consistency in the refereeing lies. The consistency in the refereeing needs to be addressed in every game, not just Liverpool game. I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm ranting on it because it's very questionable. But then every other fan, if this happens to you, please, for God's sake, questions need answers. These kind of questions need a lot of answers. Another thing I would like to talk about as well, it was McAllister was struggling, guys. This game, I saw him struggle to the absolute maximum. I saw him struggle absolutely to the maximum. Whatever Klopp is trying to do right now with the midfield three and with the whole composition of our midfield and the whole other group of midfield players that we have as well, having to play McAllister in the deep lying number 6 role just does not work for this system. If you are a past AC Milan side, you would have seen everyone would know the legendary AC Milan side. You would have had the fantastic back four of Cafu, Alessandro Nesta, you have Paolo Maldini, and then you have another guy on right back or left back. I'm not so sure who was the player. And then you would see the midfield three where you have Andrea Pirlo, who is not a number 6, yet he plays the number 6 role. And then you would have Clarence Seedorf, and then you would have Kaká, and then you would have Filippo Inzaghi, or yes, they had the Gennaro Gattuso as well. So you look at that game. I mean, you look at games from past AC Milan games. Carlo Ancelotti never really used Gennaro Gattuso in that role. Sometimes he would, sometimes he would not. And certain game compositions he would use. You would see Andrea Pirlo being a deep lying 6. Not the majority of the AC Milan games, but then also in Juventus games as well. So you would see they would play like a 4-4-2 diamond, or maybe they would play like the 4-3-3. So in those kind of moments, you would see Gattuso being more of the aggressor, more of the player who clears off all the tackles, does the interceptions and whatnot. And then you have a player who's like Andrea Pirlo, who just gives long passes in every areas of the pitch, ding passes, playing 1-2s with the midfield, playing 1-2s with Kaká, for instance. But at the moment when Gattuso retired and went off, you saw Andrea Pirlo step in that kind of a role, playing as the regista, for example. That's what they call it. So when he was in that role, he was the deep lying number 6 playmaker. So what I feel that Klopp's trying to do is trying to adopt some sort of a system in that sense with McAllister, but it's really not working, guys. It's really not working, and it's frustrating to watch, and it's sad to see a player with that immense quality like McAllister to be suffering in a number 6 role when he is not. You know what the best part is? He's wearing number 10, but he's playing in a number 6 role. That's the funniest part of all. That is the most funniest part of all in the way that we are setting up to play against every team in the Premier League up till now. That is so weird to see. So my question is, he's struggling. He really struggled in this game. The first goal happened because Van Dijk made he's in his conscience, he thought, I would pass to McAllister and then I would receive back the ball and I would pass it back to Robertson, which you could have just directly passed it to Robertson, but no, he passed it to McAllister. And then what happened? The first goal happened for Brighton. But then you look at the way that we are set up. It's just not possible. It's just not plausible for McAllister to continuously play in the number 6 role. So what was the point that we signed Gravenberch for? What was the reason we signed Wataru Endo? For example, Wataru Endo, we bought a captain of Stuttgart from the Bundesliga who is a defensive midfielder, signed for us for a reported so much fees, and he's on the bench. Work that out, guys. You guys work that out. It doesn't really make any sense to me. Endo played so well against Union SG. He played his fair share. He did his fair share of work in the game against Lask and also in the Leicester City game. Why aren't you not giving him the start that he's looking for? He might not look for it. He might be looking, okay, let's be a team player, let's play for the team. It's not necessary that I be there continuously, I can just be a leader of the pitch as well. Yes, that is his point of view. But then when you really look at the game and the way that we are playing and the sloppy start that we have every single first half of every other game in this league, currently up till Brighton's game, it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Whatever that Endo should be doing, McAllister should be doing. McAllister is actually doing it. Pardon my mistake. McAllister is doing what Endo should be doing, and he's not even good at it. It doesn't even make any sense that you're still opting to put the whole Szoboszlai, McAllister, Harvey Elliott. And to be really honest, guys, in this game, Harvey Elliott sucked. I'm sorry, Harvey Elliott, but it was not your best performance. It was horrible. You barely made any interceptions. You barely made any tackles. You barely made any blocks. So what was the whole purpose of Harvey Elliott being chosen for the starting lineup against Brighton? You guys let me know what you guys think. I don't see his purpose in that game. I didn't even see at all, barring that one goal that Mo Salah scored to equalize for us. Other than that, Harvey Elliott did jack all. He didn't do anything. He was permanently invisible. There were certain moments where he got the ball that he didn't even pass it to Soboslai, or he didn't even pass it to Robo. He couldn't even play a proper 1-2 in the first half. Again, a proper 1-2 passing with Mo Salah, who he's learning everything from, who is very close with, where the chemistry should be happening, which usually I see in certain games last season, where Harvey Elliott performed. And in this game, he was invisible. He wasn't nowhere to be seen. Every time he got the ball, Brighton were there to pressurize him and stop him from making forward runs, trying to get a forward pass in to the wingers, to Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez was nowhere to be seen in this game, but he was more of a target man in this game. But he never really had a shot on target because he was completely physically dominated by like Lewis Dunk and I think it was Igor, their new Brighton's new centre back as well. So Darwin Núñez was struggling, Szoboszlai was struggling in the first half. The whole composition wasn't really right. The way we set up to play wasn't right at all, and especially McAllister playing in a deep lying number 6 role against his former club, which he played against his former club, in which when he was in Brighton he did not play this role at all. He never played this role at all. The whole point of us buying McAllister is so that when we play him, we should get another defensive midfielder who can support them defensively, so that when McAllister and Szoboszlai are to on the counter attack, the playing our style of play, it suits well with the passing, him linking up with the likes of Darwin Núñez or Luis Diaz and Mo Salah and stuff like that. But then in this game we got it absolutely wrong. Especially with Harvey Elliott, he couldn't keep up with the intensity of Brighton. Never mind the intensity that our team plays with. That is, without a doubt, we do have intensity. But in this game, it was never to be seen in the first half at all. We were so slow. The way we started, we were so sloppy in defensively. We were so sloppy in attack as well. We couldn't really do anything. We barely did anything. And then we conceded that goal. So that would be, McAllister not being a number 6 does not work at all. You have to, at one point, you have to start Wataru Endo. The solution is there, but we are not using it. That's the whole point. The solution is there, we are not using it. That's the whole point in this whole review about McAllister, playing in the number 6 role. So other than that, I already spoken about Harvey Elliott struggling and us not using Endo in this game as well. But then, regardless of what had all that had happened, even before I talk about something positive, another negative thing that happened was that we conceded the equalizing goal for Brighton, which Lewis Dunk scored. And Robertson, throughout the first whistle, all the way leading up to that goal, he was fine. He absolutely performed. He was running up down non-stop. He did a lot of defensive tackles. He stopped a lot of attacking play against Brighton. I would like to say about Trent as well. There were certain nervy moments where against Mitoma he wasn't really unsure whether to get a body check on him or tackle him or roughen him up a bit. But overall, he did stop a significant pass from I'm not sure who passed the ball, but then when the ball wanted to be there was a long through ball towards Mitoma that they tried to get Trent caught out, but he did well in trying to stop that pass from happening. So in that sense he was okay as well. But then also about Trent, when he was playing in that whole box midfield role, he couldn't really get his whole passing rhythm going. He struggled a lot all up to the part where he got substituted off for Joe Gomez, and then that's when the whole calamity happened. I don't want to judge Joe Gomez, guys, on what has happened. And also another thing, not only just Endo that we have not starting this game. What the fuck is Ibu Konate doing on the bench? Isn't he our best centre back ever after Virgil van Dijk? Hasn't he showed his credentials last season on why he should be starting every other game for us from this season onwards? Why is he only starting Europa League games? Why is he not starting? He has consecutively not started 2 games for us. That is also another question that needs answering as well. It's really weird to see that one. Having Joel Matip start, having Joe Gomez start once in a while for us. You need to, Klopp has to decide, on he has to put his foot down and decide what's right. If you have already seen what has gone wrong. We had a lot of sloppy defensive play. So who is the next best player that we have who can play alongside Virgil van Dijk and with Trent as well, in order to cover for him when he's playing in the inverted right back role? Ibu Konate. So why haven't we started him in 2 games? I understand that Trent had gotten injured. Ibu Konate has come back from injury as well. It's totally understandable. But then that they can still play. Coming back after injury, they can still get back into their groove. They can still play. So why haven't we started Ibu Konate or Wataru Endo, for instance? And then Joel Matip came off as well, and then we put on Ibu Konate, and then we put on Joe Gomez came on for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then the game went on, and then we scored that whole bloody Brighton scored the equalizer, the bloody equalizing goal through Lewis Dunk. It was a whole. They had 2 chances. They had the first chance, they scored that goal, and then the second time they had the chances, and then they almost scored that one as well. So it's really worrying, guys, really worrying. Even our defensive play is the way that we are being set up defensively. Whenever there is a set piece or whenever there is a corner from the opposition team, it looks really worrying. It's like just an accident waiting to happen. Every time, the whole time I was watching the Brighton game, I was looking at it and going, I had my hand on my heart every time, because I always thought that we weren't able to clear it. Alisson couldn't even get a proper punch on the ball, and that's an accident waiting to happen when we were 2-1, and then so you saw Lewis Dunk scored the equalizer. So that's like so far the negatives I can say about it. But then I want to jump back straight away to the positive is, regardless of what are all the negatives that I have mentioned right now, regardless of everything, we have still had a promising start to the season. We've only lost 1 game. We've drawn 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. So our statistically, we still look fine. We can still have a go at it right after the international break. Hopefully some of the players are not chosen as much to play international games, and they can get a proper rest. They can come back again, and then it's going to be the Merseyside derby. So hopefully the correct players are being chosen to play in the correct positions. Then we will be good to go. So the defeat against Tottenham, yes, it was a punch in the gut for us. The draw against Brighton, it was very, very frustrating. But do not lose sight of the fact that despite all this, our run towards right up till now, the second international break, it's still good. We have done well. Our squad depth is there. Is visibly, we can see that our squad depth is really good heading into this international break, because we've had 2 Europa. We played 3 Europe last Union SG. We haven't played Toulouse yet. So we played 2 European League games. We played a League Cup match against Leicester, and then we've played a consecutive 6 to 7, 8 league games, Premier League games as well. So when you look at the whole team that we have right now, the squad this season, I think they have the capacity and the capability to push for something, to play for something this season. And don't just because I said all the negative things that were frustrating against Brighton, I do not really want to take away what we have achieved so far right up till now. Right up till now, we have done well. Just that the game against Tottenham wasn't on our side. The game against Brighton, we were just super sloppy. Just hopefully that Klopp just picks up from all these kind of little mistakes. All these kind of little mistakes when the him not adding Ibu Konate into the starting lineup, not letting Wataru Endo play, not getting even a sniff of a Premier League game, just coming on as a substitute, just playing the rest of the games. I understand you can do that in a few games, but then to constantly do it, it's super unnecessary. And we are really sloppy at the back. When we play with Wataru Endo, you see the game against Leicester or the game against Union SG, we were solid. Endo got majority of the balls. He had a lot of interceptions. He had a lot of blocks. He had a lot of tackles, barring the fact that he got a yellow card. But then defensively, all the attributes that you need from a player like Endo, you got it. So, come on, Klopp. I mean, the players are there. It's just up to you whether you want to use them or not. If you use them, then yes, our team will be solid. You know, it's not that I don't want Liverpool to play, the whole heavy metal football, this gegen pressing and stuff like that. It's not that I don't want it. We saw shades of what we can do during the 17-18 season when Mo Salah first came in, and then we had Sadio Mane, Firmino, Salah and in the front three, and then our midfield. We were really good. We were attacking wise, we were really good, but then defensively we were very, very sloppy. We were conceding too many unnecessary goals. So that's what I do not want to see. Having a fantastic attack and having a terrible defense is not what any Liverpool fan would want to see. So that would be my ultimate concern, and my what can Klopp do to rectify it is just use the players that we have. You have the player in that position who can play in that position and do well. Use it. If Ibu Konate is better than every other centre back that we have, than Joel Matip or Joe Gomez, not counting the fact that the quality that they both bring to the table as well, but I feel that Ibu Konate is more suited to be playing alongside Virgil van Dijk in every game that we play from now onwards. I think it's very evidently we can be able to see. The unavailability of Jota, Gakpo and Curtis Jones is very detrimental to us as well, because our stacked team, which has a proper squad depth, and then it got skinned down because of injuries and red cards, but it will all come back soon. Now players will come back soon. Nothing to worry about. Just don't discard the fact that we have done well. It's just that it's a bump on the road. Hopefully after the international break we can get back the momentum and then go all out and try to win against Everton in the Merseyside derby. So with that being said, thank you so much guys for listening to all my rants and all my talking points. I know if I've taken too much of your time, I apologize, but then this is all I'm saying right now. I know what every Liverpool fan are thinking right now. So thank you so much for your time, for listening. Hopefully I can do another episode for you guys during the international break and whatnot. So that's all from me. 2-2 against Brighton, not a bad result, but it's a fair result against a very good coached Brighton team as per Jurgen Klopp. We could have done better, but we got a draw, so let's walk on and move forward and keep pushing and keep pressing. We have a good team here. Hopefully Klopp makes the right decision. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Do like this video if you guys like it, and also hit the subscribe button if you guys want to follow up on my episodes as well. I do post all my episodes on Spotify. You guys can head on over there. You guys can follow on my TikTok, on my YouTube, on my Spotify, and also in my Instagram pages as well. So you guys can head on and follow all my social links as well. So with that being said, thank you so much and see you guys soon, and take care guys. International break is upon us, so let's take some break, recoup and come back. So take care guys, and walk on, and you'll never walk alone guys.